Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. And there was not a whole heck of a lot coming out this week to babble about, but I did find one thing that was kind of interesting, and it is Fleetwood Mac, and they are releasing this vinyl version of their Live at the Record Plant from December 15th of 1974. It was actually previously released in a box set, I don't know, 2020 I believe, and it's been a bootleg forever. I actually had the bootleg of this, and I had never listened to it, so I decided, there's really nothing else coming out this week interesting at all, and it's been a long time since I've listened to any early Fleetwood Mac, so why not? So I actually had this playing all, evening yesterday and most of the night, and one thing I've forgotten is how awesome Fleetwood Mac was before they became super famous. There was actually Fleetwood Mac before Lindsay and Stevie. I think, some of us, even longtime fans, may tend to forget that. And so it was fun to listen to this again. Definitely a different style of band, but it had obviously some similar elements to it. They had a different guitar player at that point in time, and vocalist Bob Welch, who had been with them for a while. This actually was, I think, the last show he ever did with them, if I'm not mistaken. And they had Bobby Hunt on Hammond organ and other synthesizers and stuff. But the core of the band, that remained was still, John McVie and Mick Fleetwood, and Christine McVie was a big part of the band at this point in time. And so I put it in. I've heard other bootleg stuff from back in this time frame, and I'll be honest, I was never a huge fan of the Peter Green era. I know that's blasphemy for a lot of people, but I started getting into their style of music around the Bob Welch time, actually. So, that's when I really started appreciating them a little. When, of course, the other two people I mentioned there joined the band, that they kind of took over, and that's what a lot of people know from them. But this era of the band actually was really good. And of course they did a few, the songs from the earlier days with Peter Green and the band. But what the nice part was, is you get to hear more of Christine McVie's earlier songs here that I don't think they really ended up doing much after this, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I've got a few other bootlegs from, the 70s, but I mean, thinking back to the songs they did, after, I don't know, probably 75, 76 on. I don't know if they kept playing some of these songs of hers. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I have to dig into my collection to find out. But, it kicks in with the Green Manalishi, which the funny part was I used to play this song way back when I was in college. And we did the Judas Priest version of it. Didn't even know that it was an early Fleetwood Mac song. But, soon learned after that. So it was fun hearing this version of it, which was, quite a bit different from either one of those, the early version or the Judas Priest version. This one's actually kind of cool. It's kind of somewhere in between, honestly. It was not quite as long as the Peter Green version of it. It was more condensed. Even the riff seemed, the main riff of the song seemed like it was condensed in a little bit more, if that makes any sense at all. But it was kind of cool hearing that version of it. I actually never noticed that his version of this was any different than any of the other ones I've listened to, but I guess I was listening to this one a little bit more carefully than normal. And then, of course, there's Angel is the next song on here, which is a Welch song, I believe. And this was a radio recording, so the recording of it's really good. I didn't mention that. There's a kind of an introduction to the whole thing that says something about the real Fleetwood Mac, or that's what they say, they had to have imitators, but and forgeries, but this is the real Fleetwood Mac, and kind of referring to the fact that their previous manager had put together a wholly different version of Fleetwood Mac that was out there on the road trying to tour and stuff. So kind of a funny little fact there. That's why he said that at the beginning of this. But yeah, the recording quality of it's really good. Probably not going to go through every single song on here, but the highlights for me, which, there's a lot of, guitar exploration, I guess is a good way to describe it on here, showcasing Bob Welch's style on songs of his, like Bermuda Triangle, which is, one of the ones that came up here in song number 5, I believe. But even before that, we had one of Christine's song in there. Spare Me a Little, which, I can't even tell you the last time I've heard that song, Spare Me a Little of Your Love. I couldn't even tell you the last time I listened to that song. So hearing that again, I was like hearing it for the first time ever again. I'd forgotten how good her stuff was before even they became super popular. And this is one of the ones that surprised me hearing it again, even though I know I've heard it before because I've listened to all that stuff. It's been years and years since I've listened to this stuff. So I guess it's kind of nice that it was slow, that I had a chance to as far as album releases go, to dig into this, because it's been sitting in my collection for quite some time now, and it's just funny, I've never taken it out to listen to it. It's one of those curses of being a collector. You have so much stuff and so limited amount of time to listen to things that sometimes we choose maybe stuff that we didn't even enjoy, and then we're passing over stuff like this that's been in my collection that whatever. But anyway, there's a couple other songs of hers on here. Why and Believe Me, which just as enjoyable listening to. Those two I did remember, but for some reason I didn't remember that first one. And one thing I've said about her before, because I've reviewed a couple of their Fleetwood Mac things before, is that she just always seems like pitch perfect. She just never seems like she's off. I don't know what it is about some of these people that are that lucky to be that talented, but she's got such a very distinctive voice and just a perfect ear, I think. Just great little catchy melodies. And even in the style of music that they were doing back then, it's kind of got a bluesish feel to it still a little bit, but it's still catchy, very memorable, so it was fun listening to those. They also do a bunch of other Peter Green stuff here later on. They do Black Magic Woman, Oh Well, and then there's a whole bunch of talking instrumental stuff going on in between that, and then they go into Rattlesnake Shake, which was not say unfortunately, but somewhere in the middle there it got a little bit, I don't know, loose. Maybe like they didn't know what they were doing or something, I don't know, but it seems like it got a little bit loose in that, but came together at the end with one of Welch's songs, Hypnotized, I guess, which was off the album Mystery to Me the previous year, and it had a different guitar intro to it that I hadn't heard before, so it was kind of cool, neat to hear that. And then it's weird how it just kind of cut off and just ended, so I don't know if that's that way on the box set or the new release, or it's just that way on the bootleg that I have, but like I said, I've had it forever, so I don't know if that ended that way by accident or what, but that's the way mine ended. So it's like full disclosure, I didn't end up getting the vinyl of it. I do have this box set somewhere too, but like I said, I've got so much, sometimes these things get lost and just stuck, and I forget where they all are. I just have boxes of things that I hope someday that I'm going to get back to, or get a chance to listen to, but I don't know if there's enough time left. I'm not old, but man, I've got so much stuff that it's just unbelievable how much I have that I know I'm never going to be able to listen to, and I'm glad I pulled this one out of the collection and gave it some time, because it was really enjoyable. So if you're a vinyl collector and you want to get this and you're a Fleetwood Mac fan, I think you're going to be very happy that you did. If you're not like a vinyl collector and you just really like this style of music and you like Fleetwood Mac, I would say probably get the box set. It's got, I think it was 6 bootlegs in that one. I actually don't remember, but that's the way it is, case of the olds. If anybody out there knows how many there are in it or wants to add anything to this, always feel free. That's what it's about, just discussing the music, not who's right or wrong or whatever. It's just discussing the music, enjoying it, maybe making it known to people who didn't know what was out there, and that's about it. So as always, I ask to like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because glad that I saw that this was coming out to give me a chance to listen to it, and I said that already, but it's always worth it, and it was fun, and until next time, we'll see you.